Okay, I'm in Fredericton, and there's something going on, and we're gonna see how this interview goes. Yeah, you look like the 10 most most wanted.
Most wanted, that's the look I'm going for, buddy.
What's your name?
Chris Arsenault.
And you are?
The author of Blowback, a Canadian history of Agent Orange and the war at home.
So what is your book all about?
Well, it's an investigative history of Agent Orange spraying in New Brunswick, how that happened, why that happened, and the culpability of the Department of National Defense, the chemical companies, and a variety of other nefarious organizations.
How did Agent Orange end up here? This was what, in the 60s, 50s?
Starting in 1956, the Canadian military sprayed more than 1.3 million liters of the chemicals Agents Orange, White, and Purple, in addition to some 2 million kilograms of dry herbicides. So those were used around the training area at Gagetown and by the rail company and the power company to defoliate brush.
And what's the main point in your book? I know we had to read it, but what's the main point?
Well, the main point is that senior officials in Ottawa and at Dow Chemical knew in the 60s that these chemicals were extremely toxic, and yet they did nothing to warn people to solve the problems, and they continued using them. So it's trying to find culpability on behalf of those who are responsible for poisoning thousands of veterans and civilians. I'd
love to do an interview with you. Your answers are short and right to the point. Okay, so in your other research you did, is $20,000 enough for each victim?
Well, I think the biggest problem with that compensation package is the fact that it's only available to people who were in the area in 1966-67 during American tests. So the Americans sprayed roughly 483 liters of the chemicals. The Canadians sprayed more than 1.3 million liters. So it's an attempt to deflect blame and responsibility from Canada's far larger program onto the Americans. And the Americans obviously should not have been testing Agent Orange and Purple in Canada when they couldn't do it on their own soil.
Oh, really?
But, oh yeah. But,
you're trying to say that Americans use us Canadian as guinea pigs?
Not exactly, Charles, no. I mean, because the Canadian government invited them down, so we're responsible for treating ourselves as guinea pigs, or not we, but the senior defense officials are responsible for this. People were used as guinea pigs, there's no question, but the Americans were invited. So that's the problem.
You talked to a lot of people?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did about 24 interviews, but more importantly, I did a variety of freedom of information requests. So getting minutes from military meetings and those sorts of things, which show that they actually knew what was going on.
Did the widows and the people that's in the committee to fight for compensation, did they talk to you?
Oh yeah, I've spoken with a lot of those folks, for sure. Absolutely.
So there was injustice.
Oh, well, clearly it was a massive violation of human rights, and they knew what they were doing and they continued to do it. So, yeah, I mean, this is a serious tragedy, and people should be brought to justice for it.
In your opinion, do you think this is a done deal?
Oh, no. I mean, this will likely, it's before the courts right now. It'll likely be the largest class action lawsuit in Canadian history, or at least one of the largest lawsuits. So, no, in a lot of ways, the resistance is just beginning.
How's the book going?
Well, I've been moving around the country like crazy. Vancouver, Victoria, Halifax, now here. So I've been on the road a lot. A little bit tired for sure, but feeling good. And it's the Telegraph Journal says it's a bestseller.
Irving paper.
Irving paper, yeah, they're problematic in their own right. It's true, but regardless, they say it's a bestseller. So I'm hoping it'll go national rather than just provincial.
Oh my God, you're trying to say that the Irving paper is in the book business now?
No, well, they just record the bestsellers.
Okay, if they do something good, we will give them credit.
That's what I say.
Chris, nice to meet you.
Always a pleasure, Charlie.
Thanks a lot.